My name's John and I'm retired. I like Progress Texas because it keeps me informed on what's going on. I've known Kathleen and a number of the members there for quite a while. They're excellent communicators. And as we all know, as Democrats, we got to do better in the upcoming election in communicating. And I think Kathleen and her people are in the forefront.
It's Monday, April 28th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Apologies in advance for a bit of a scary one this Monday morning. The attack on basic due process by the Trump administration and the right-wing media sphere that supports their agenda represents a threat to your freedom, regardless of who you are, who you voted for, whether you voted or not, whether you're a citizen or not. Undermining the right to defend yourself against the state should be a red line for all Americans, and the Trump regime is now crossing it with impunity. The latest, at least 2 children, both U.S. citizens, deported to Honduras, as a federal judge in Louisiana puts it, quote, with no meaningful process, unquote. Alana Wise at NPR writes that Trump and ICE officials contend these kids simply accompanied their mother as she was kicked out of the country. But U.S. District Judge Terry Dowdy writes that they were spirited away by ICE even as his court had sought to clarify the youngest girl's citizenship status and has set a hearing for May 16th, quote, in the interest of dispelling our strong suspicion that the government just deported a U.S. citizen, unquote, adding, quote, the government contends that this is all okay because the mother wishes that the child be deported with her, but the court doesn't know that, unquote. We take a deep dive on due process, why it's vital to the American system, why Trump and MAGA want it done away with, and why you and everyone else who values your freedom should be up in arms about this. Our talk with Progress Texas Institute board members and North Texas attorneys Louis Bedford IV and Jason Smith will hit this podcast feed at about 12 noon today on Monday the 28th. A crucial listen. Along that same line and narrowing to Texas, a harrowing report from the Texas Observer and writer Francesca D'Annunzio, who says that even as due process is being whittled away, law enforcement agencies across the country, including in Texas, city police departments, county sheriff's offices, and others, have begun signing up as official force extensions of ICE. D'Annunzio says that this year, nearly 200 law enforcement agencies in 23 states, the vast majority in Florida, have signed what are known as 287G task force model agreements with ICE in a revived program that was shuttered by the Obama administration 13 years ago when issues with racial profiling emerged. This program enables officers within departments with these agreements to interrogate any person as to his right to be or remain in the United States, arrest without a warrant anyone the officer believes may be present without documentation, execute warrants for immigration violations, and prepare immigration charging documents. While we're still way behind Florida, 14 Texas law enforcement agencies have signed up, including Ken Paxton's State Attorney General's office, the Texas National Guard, and mostly rural East Texas sheriff's departments, but including Smith County, which ain't exactly rural with almost 250,000 residents, many of them living in Tyler. Kristen Etter, Director of Policy and Legal Services at the Texas Immigration Law Council, calls all of this really aggressive, saying, quote, it's literally officers in the streets stopping, detaining, questioning, interrogating, arresting. The task force model is a force multiplier of federal immigration agencies, unquote. As if the Monday edition wasn't already scary enough, let's throw in the fact that Texas Republican lawmakers, even as we speak, are going to great lengths to allow Texas law enforcement officers to shoot you. That's not hyperbole at all. Sneda Gray at the Texas Tribune reports on House Bill 2436, author Representative Cole Hefner of Mount Pleasant, East Texas by coincidence, which would exempt law enforcement officers from being charged with deadly conduct for actions taken in the line of duty. Critics are concerned for obvious reasons. This bill will give police officers in Texas largely unlimited authority to act recklessly and use an unjustifiable amount of force while on duty. Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza, whose office has been aggressively targeted by Republicans and the right, in large part for holding police officers accountable for exceeding reasonable force, says, quote, allowing police to shoot at people without justification will make our community and our law enforcement officers less safe, unquote. The Texas House votes on HB 2436 today after the Senate approved a nearly identical bill, SB 1637, earlier this month with the support of several Democratic senators. To lighten up a bit before we wrap up, a friendly face was popping up in the news over the weekend, the face of Beto O'Rourke, who's made the news simply for stopping short of saying he won't run for office in the 2026 cycle. Teresa Woodard at WFAA says O'Rourke was pressed by an attendee of a town hall in Denton on Saturday about his plans. The response was, quote, "If it comes to pass that this is what the people of Texas want, that it's the highest and best use of what I can give to you, then yes, I will," unquote. Got a big cheer for that one. And later told WFAA reporters, quote, "We'll see what the future holds, but I'm going to do whatever is the greatest good for the greatest number in this state," unquote. Beto also spoke this weekend at the encouragingly well-attended March for Democracy put on by the McLennan County Democrats in Waco yesterday, Sunday, as part of a series of events that appear to be a test run of sorts across the state for Beto O'Rourke. Not only is voting essential, but voting is fun, and progressive Texans should be voting in every election, every time. 2 days left in early voting for the May 3rd election. Most county websites will have a sample ballot you should download and spend a little time with before you head out. Lots more on voting in Texas at our online resource, GoVoteTexas.org. Again, you've got today and tomorrow, and then Election Day coming up on Saturday, May the 3rd. San Antonio and Austin friends, Progress Texas is proud to welcome San Antonio Mayor Ron Nierenberg as our guest for a live podcast taping at our Party for Progress on Tuesday, May the 6th, and you're invited. We look forward to a long overdue visit to Alamo City. Again, mark that date, Tuesday, May the 6th. Live pod taping with Mayor Ron Nierenberg and good fun with you in San Antonio. See the show notes and get your tickets right now. Thanks to Austin Kaplan and the Kaplan Law Firm, Nicolette Ardiente, Shannon Hernseer, Will Judy, Tracy Miller, Jeremy Nelson, Julianne Reeves, Holly Taylor, and more for their generous support of our San Antonio Party for Progress. Our mission at Progress Texas is to counter the conservative disinformation machine, but they far outmatch us in funding. Oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups spend a lot of money keeping their audiences in the dark. If you've come to appreciate the light we shine on important political news in Texas on a daily, ongoing basis, please know that our regular, everyday listeners form a key component of our funding. And if that's you, we could use your support as a monthly contributor, and no amount is too small. Go to progresstexas.org/donate. Thanks to Leon Buys, Darby Hamilton, and Angela Kaiser, all of whom are on the team. We appreciate all of you very much. While you're at the website, hit the web store to grab merch to match your progressive values. Y'all means all revolution and our most popular Humans Against Ted Cruz t-shirts, all union printed right here in Texas. Awesome stickers and tons more, all at progresstexas.org. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Monday, April 28th, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day and a great week. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.